Okay.
Was the turnout this light the last couple of
It's
times that
been
I
it's
missed?
been pretty low.
Not really. It's been low, but this is the lowest we have right now.
Now
Oh,
Ingrid,
okay.
now Ingrid joins, but I think it's
Ah,
low
Hello,
because
hello,
Ingrid.
Ingrid.
you know
Thank
that
you.
we have daylight savings time on your place, but not in ours.
Ah,
So
yeah.
this is an hour earlier. So it's actually a little.
Ah,
People are used to the hours, so to speak.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Most of us despise changing that clock twice a year.
So what's
But
nice about digital.
I do enjoy the changing of clocks because that means I can sleep an hour early.
Yeah, for you it's
It's
very
midnight
good.
right now.
But you lose an
Yeah.
hour the next time,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah, but
hurts.
it's a time
I
difference.
do. Later in the year, it becomes 1 a.m. Right now, the clocks change, so it's 12 a.m. over here right now. But when it will change again, we'll go back to 1 a.m. So that's a little
Yeah.
late for me.
Yeah.
So,
It's just
yeah.
3:25 p.m. here. It's still afternoon and it's sunny and very hot.
Yeah.
Ah, well,
Here it's around 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But so I am actually going to call you out today, and I will actually do it just by doing like this almost. No, I will start with Eric.
all right.
You want to read?
Sure, sure. The wild animal catches a whiff, the reptilian brain swift to stir emotion, motion the higher brain fills with notion, the heartbeat tide of oceans then and when contend away from the now they bend. The edge of the cliff is stiff and so very near. Clenched in fear or deep into the beer, devotion to an idea of the world unfurled like a flag on a pole, nothing without mere wind. We sinned. Out in a wide world, we could get away with a great deal. Now it's too raw, too close to feel. Snared in our own net, simultaneously reaching and recoiling, confusing immediacy with the present moment. Headlong. Oh, that we would have done nothing pandemically. Earth shakes off a few million pests. But what would we learn from such a monstrous teacher?
That's very pertinent, Eric.
I liked
Is that
it.
one going to be on the site, Eric?
Um, I I haven't published it yet, so I don't know.
It was
In
very.
increments
I
are
liked
so
it a
good
lot.
as that was. We would like to be able to read it and spend some time with it.
It was, and I liked
Okay,
the way you read
I
it,
will post it.
the rhythm
Excellent.
and the
It
way
was
it.
excellently done too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very good. And the
Thank you.
conclusion when you really summed it
For
up.
those of you who care, I finally have a new episode of Blackthorn.
Oh,
today.
Oh,
we'll read.
yay. Excellent.
Look
Still,
forward to reading it.
still waiting
Well,
for
you'll
the
have
movie.
to read it to find out.
So now I'm gonna
Yeah, I've got
continue.
some big plans, so we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks and months.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Do it.
I think I will go with. Usually,
All right,
you,
who's
Sana,
next?
you wait until the very last. So,
Ingrid looks
so
ready to go.
usually you start. Sana, you come to the end. So why don't you go second today?
Ah, not a problem. All right then. Hi everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. I usually write romantic poems, but ever since the war between Russia and Ukraine, I can't think of anything else. So I wrote a war poem today,
Ooh.
which I'm
Oh,
going to
boy.
read out. Oh yes. The poem is called "Across the Fields" or "Alone" or "Amidst the Chaos," and it goes something like this. It's easier to be dumb, to be deaf and blind, in this age of darkness, where freedom no longer breathes, where rose is red, forget what it's like to bloom, and bloom so righteously. Nothing else breaks you the way war does. Come speak your truth, come do so freely. There are many who take lives here as though they are nothing, as though the sky wouldn't notice, as though the moon wouldn't disclose its dark side. Give them praise, not contempt. It's not every day that they realize inner monologue is lost, is non-existent, is a fissure long, a line of breakage made by cracking open the skulls of others. Then add, it's nice of you not to rip open the heart and stomp it to dust. The wind moans when nobody is looking. It's making up for the mouthless millions who cannot do so, or are too tired to. I'm a poet, and yet words fail me when it comes to addressing the sorrow and pain. How I wish it wasn't so. How I wish it wasn't so. The strength of poems reach and undo the horror that's unleashed on a daily basis. The warmth of poems so as to console the numb. Winter is falling behind just thinking along these lines. It's easier to be dumb, to be deaf and blind. Thank you.
Strong.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thumbs up.
You know, they say that the best war correspondents are poets.
Yeah. Could be. Could be.
Over the years, you know, you think about the ones that have really been great. They've been authors or poets. Yep, when it comes to the heavy lifting, that's when they need to send us in.
Maybe so. Maybe so. It's the words that's going to be remembered, but it's sad that it has to be like that way. But yeah, I've been trying to not to write war poetry, but I will. You will have to wait. Rob, do you have a war poem today?
Yeah, I have a war poem today.
All right.
It's called a Bordeaux Chapeau. So,
Okay.
so in honor of Randy Newman and the war, here it goes. Yo, sit back, shut up, and don't be rude. I'm going to tell you about a badass dude. He rolls with a finger snap, jazz, jive, strut. Don't mess with him, because you might get cut. He wears silken French cuffed ivory shirts. They're soft as buttercream sweet desserts. Got diamond cufflinks of pure white gold. He's fashion treasure, precious and bold. Pearl stick pin satin tie knotted tight, looking like Paris on a Saturday night. Desert tan gabardine three-pleat slack. Euro cuff steam creased, sharp as tacks. Soft snake skin braces, buttons sterling bright. Hip and killer as a rattlesnake's bite. Black patent striders with real gator spats. He's stepping as classy as the coolest cats. Red pinstripe linen coat, double-breasted, pure uptown savvy, teal velvet vested, sporting a full block roll brim felt chapeau in the deepest red of a fine Bordeaux. He loves Pearly with the fine hat, but she don't need wear much more than that. He's crisp and smooth as a dry martini. Best call him Sir. Friends call him Ziggy. That's my war poem.
Yeah.
Glad I got to hear you read that one. I read it yesterday, but
I hope you will post it as well, Rob.
Oh yeah.
It was posted for the hat.
Yeah.
For the hat, okay. I have
Yeah.
to.
I also posted one more thing, and if you get a chance to listen to it, you probably should.
You can leave your hat on.
That's Randy Newman singing the real deal.
Okay.
I mentioned to you, Rob, when you posted that that years ago, when I was an actor, I was living in LA, I was able to see a play of Zoot Suit with Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Man, that was an experience.
Yeah.
For those of us who didn't really understand the Zoot Suit riots back in the 40s and
Right.
all the stuff that's happened in LA, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Ah. Ken is coming in as well. Welcome, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hello, Ken. Happy Paddy's Day.
Come in, Ken.
There he is. Hello, Ken.
I can.
Ken,
I
You
think
almost had to say,
you're on mute,
Ken,
sir.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, I've been so busy with my new laptop that I totally forgot that this was Open Link Live. So
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my
here I am,
goodness.
and I actually have a camera on my laptop this time. So
Outstanding.
Very good.
how's
So
everybody doing?
you came in right after Rob here, and I think that I'm gonna go around here and ask Ingrid.
Okay then. Yeah, I'll go next. Thanks. I'm sorry I arrived a bit late. The clocks haven't gone forward yet in the
No.
UK, so I got the time wrong. I was ready for 8 o'clock. I'm pleased I didn't miss it all.
Do we have Benny there too?
He hasn't composed anything for tonight, so yeah, he's
Oh,
been writing something else about train journeys. So I
Oh,
just
will
let
you
him.
tell him that we're looking forward to his next
I
effort?
will. I'll tell him to work on something for next.
Yes.
He just does his own thing, you know. But this
Yeah.
this poem does feature. Well, there's a picture of him and his brother on it. It's called Morecambe and Wise. Now, I don't know if in the US, apparently, Morecambe and Wise are not well known. They're a comedy duo. I guess they're like equivalent to maybe like Abbott and Costello or something.
okay.
They're very well known in the UK. And one of them comes from a seaside town in the northwest of England called Morecambe. So the poem's called Morecambe and Wiser. A palette of clouds and light over the bay, but I'm glad I took you anyway. I hadn't been for such a long time, and the way the sun played on the sands, sublime. The stone jetty with its tongue twisters, the unpretentious tea shop where we sheltered when we came out, how the grey clouds parted to reveal the hills. Glory days, and the circus was in town, right on the spot where I'd played in the pool as a child. Now, childhood and the pool long gone. Outside the tent, the families formed a queue. You asked, why don't we go? And I could find no reasonable answer. Inside the big top, I'm a child again, watching the artists flying the trapeze, slicing the air with acrobatic ease. And I'd like to do the same with words. This is how it feels to be free, with no risk of breaking my neck, except perhaps metaphorically. Next, we found the Eric Morecambe statue where we struck a pose. There's something about the gesture and the day which implores such gay abandon from us. And I sent you a postcard about all of this, but it hasn't reached you yet. So just in case you never get it, you can have these words instead. I'm older and I'm wiser now. The former by one day, the latter, it seems, immeasurably, through simple lessons gifted to me by my children. And that's it.
Wow.
Ooh,
Very
That's a gorgeous poem, Ingrid.
I love it.
Yeah.
The day out we had last weekend was inspiring.
Good to be able to capture.
I
Yeah.
read it this morning, but I liked hearing you read it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We in America used to have circuses come through 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because it was all the old time stuff with the big tents and 3 rings and it was, as a child, to go to those events. It was nothing like Cirque du Soleil, which is really a whole lot more than the circus. But There's just something about the circus when you're 10 years old. That's incredible.
It was
You
lovely to
just-
see the children's faces as they watched it. That was the best thing.
We still have circuses coming through in the summer here with tents and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
They come to our neighborhood, small circuses.
I don't know why we don't. Maybe it's not cost effective anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, it still happens here.
Still happens here as well.
Hard to compete with real life nowadays.
Yeah.
But though it has been down for COVID for 2 years, so I don't know if it's going to come back now. But before COVID, it was coming every year. Let me see. Should I go next?
You could.
Why not?
Yes.
Yeah, I do that.
Yes.
So
Please do.
just to say, I didn't have the time before everybody joined. I said I just came back from my first business trip. That's why I have it written for the week here. So I took an old poem, but I actually think it's good for the live edition to take something old, refresh it a little bit, and do some little bit of editing. This is a very old poem. I think I saw Glenn. You had commented on the first version, but apart from that, nobody else has commented on this one. So it was from 2014. And it was a prompt on travel, but at that time, I don't know if you remember, Glenn, I wrote everything in form, basically. So this is a set of triolets, which I thought was kind of the easy way out, so I wrote it. I renamed it, I called it Tangerine Dream now, but I had something else before. So let's see if you like it. The days we think that we are close, in glowing tangerine of ends. When evening come, it's time to doze. Those days we think that we are close, to the point when our travel slows, a silent time to be with friends. The days we think that we are close, in glowing tangerine of ends. In morning we still break our camp, beyond horizon nests our goal. Above the sun our guiding lamp, in daybreak we still break our camp. Our lodgings might be dark and damp, but memories can yet console. In morning we still break our camp, beyond horizon nests our goal. When after many days the road will meet that tangerine of ends, our final day when gait is slow, when after many days the road will rest an instant, for we're sent a final goal on us bestowed. When after many days the road we meet our tangerine of ends.
I love that.
Cool, very cool.
It's lovely.
So close. Really good.
Wow, 2014.
Yeah,
That was a couple of years ago.
it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Really
we
like
were
the breaking
a couple
camp.
of the originals that were still, starting up then.
And I actually have linked to, so this was partly inspired by a poem by a Swedish poet called Karin Boye, who is the most beloved Swedish poet ever. I've linked to a translation of her poem, which is called In Motion, and the idea is that life is like this constant breaking of camps, and you go on and on and on.
Tangerine Dream was also an incredible German electronic group back in
I
the
know,
60s.
I know.
I love their music.
I think they're still. I do think they still exist.
Probably still alive, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard from them for a while.
Yeah.
I
that's
loved
the
them though.
thing about rock. Even if you're 70, you can come back and do another shot at it now.
Yeah.
It's incredible. How old are the Rolling Stones? They're almost 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mick and Richard are writing new music right now.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyhow,
Yeah, but it's funny to see 80-year-old men prancing on the stage, though.
Yeah. Oh, Ken, it's you now, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. I've been sort of busy. My laptop took a crap, and I was playing around with it, trying to get it to work. It was working, wasn't working, and so I wasn't doing a lot of writing. So I finally got a new laptop. But what I did today was I linked a haiku sequence that I wrote about 2-3 weeks ago. It's called Transitions. As leaves change, cooler winds prevail, shorter days. Fading light as leaves float downstream. Herons leave. Hidden water when river freezes. Icy wind. Eagle's nest among bare branches with first buds. Bass splashes. Kingfisher's steep dive. Turtles wake. And I did see about a dozen turtles when I went kayaking yesterday.
Oh.
And the last of the sequences, warm breeze blows across muddy banks, drying out.
Oh, it was like a whole season from autumn through winter into spring and summer, I thought.
Yeah, that's what
Yes,
I
it's
was
beautiful.
trying for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A little
I
mood
enjoyed that a lot. Very nice.
Thank you.
I
the heron. I've seen a lot of herons recently myself on the river.
so we have
I have. It's early for us.
we have
You know, even
three.
after all these years, I still get a little confused from haiku. 575 are this classic syllable haiku,
Right.
but there
Right.
seems to be a lot of
Not
other
very much
variations.
used today, though.
I mean,
2 syllables, 3.
but
you know.
Yeah. In fact, this is a 353, and there
Right.
has been more of a tendency to go to 353 because the 575 actually is syllable count, and that is not. I believe the Japanese works on the characters, the
Yeah.
character count, so the syllables could be
Yeah.
different, but it's still short, long, short.
But it's
Yeah.
also the fact that I think one of the things that often is confused is that that people get hung up on the syllable counts when there are so much more important thing of a haiku, with the fact that you have to have this breaking point and you have to have a kigo, a season word. All those rules people tend to forget, and they just count syllables. And I think that is
Right.
one of the reasons why we sometimes get confused.
And the last line always has to be the hook. You know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but-
It's just a little bit of twist.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit, but it is this breaking that you have to have. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I think it can actually be between the first and the second one as well. You just have to be somewhere
Yes.
in the poem.
Not necessarily. The important thing is that you have a fragment and a phrase,
Yeah,
and
Yes.
there's some kind of juxtaposition,
Yeah, exactly.
thrown in there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not long ago, Bjorn, you did a poem that was all American sentences.
yeah,
And it's been a while since we had a prompt of
Yeah.
those, and I love them.
yeah. I love them
So
too.
maybe we ought to think about that.
Yeah,
I, for one, would like to do them,
yeah.
but I don't think about it when I'm writing sometimes.
Now
Yeah. In
it's,
fact, I did it when we were using your photos, Glenn, for a prompt, and I did
That's right. Yeah.
American sentence for all of those.
I did it to this painting prompts where I wrote American
Right.
sentences. And one thing I've tried, which is I haven't seen many other trying to do, since haiku is kind of a short form for, or like an American version of haiku. I used it in haibun. So you use
for American
American sentences together with prose.
Okay.
Cool.
Why not? I mean, you can, with a haibun, you can have start with one, have one in the middle, and one on
Yeah,
the end
yeah.
if you want.
Yeah. Okay. As I said, I need to end pretty soon, so I thought I'd get through with everyone.
No,
So
you've jumped past me, Bjorn. and
I
feel
was
bad.
gonna come to you. I have three
Oh.
left, but since you volunteered to go next,
Okay.
that was my next question. Who volunteers? And you did before I even
I
asked.
guess I did. Yes.
But I still have Jelena and Meryl left, I think.
Well, you won't be disappointed because I wrote a war poem.
Oh,
Soldier's Song. Our history books are splattered with plasma pages contributed to by myriads of men in mail who swung the Lord's sword, fighting in jihad, holy war, and politically designated skirmishes, crushing the infidels, sowing death like berserk angels, with God first on one side, then the other. White silken battle banners, tunics stretched over armor, blazoned with bright red crosses. Centuries crusted upon centuries, always with helmeted men standing guard on lonely battlements, or hunkered down in besieged fire bases, having a conversation with Jesus Muhammad. Make it worthwhile, sweet Lord, for most of my brothers are dead, their bodies ripped apart like slaughtered sheep lying all about me. Their beautiful voices are silenced, and the putrid stench of rotting flesh rises thick off the festering corpses, and it chokes the liberty out of me. Just sacrifices to the cruel kings of the earth. Yes, I understand that my enemy is evil, and God's love cannot be wasted on heathens, but I have murdered for you in your name, and now there's no antiseptic that can wash the blood off my hands. I'm sorry, but I am afraid. I tell you, I can hear them calling my name in 10 languages, and God damn it, doubt plagues me like a brain clap, and I'm just not ready or willing to give the last full measure of my devotion. Anger and resentment rides me like a red demon, and all the mothers of heathens cannot be whores. I see dead men's faces staring at me from off the concertina wire, men who were searching for you as my bullets pierced their hearts, men conscripted and brainwashed, men with wives, children in gardens, waiting for their return. So tell me, big man, whose bullet is more holy? And will I see you? Will I see your face just as I embrace death?
Oh,
There it is.
Well, strong.
Yeah,
very.
That
Oh,
was very powerful.
I get
Yeah,
it.
everybody.
There are so
Very
many
sobering.
strong images today, and somehow I just wonder what's happening to those men that grew up killing.
Yeah.
It's
Human insanity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And human insanity.
I feel sorry for you, Jelena. It looks so warm. So I'm gonna let you go, Lex. If it's okay, we do Meryl to go last.
Okay. I usually read an old poem. So I'm going to do that again today. And it's very short. So Meryl will get in. And it's called St. Patrick's Day Sunset.
Ooh.
So here goes. On rainbows, slide playfully, syllables at the speed of lightning, dripping wet like fresh ink into a poem so green. The leaves of the clover squint for the sparkle of fantasy, where treasured gold composed stare at leprechauns hurrying. Empty the evening sky into night blankets for verses and stanzas need never sleep.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank
That's
you.
lovely.
You found you found that bucket of gold at the end of the rainbow, I think.
Is St. Patrick's Day normally celebrated there?
In church.
In church.
Yeah.
Yes, St. Patrick's is a Catholic saint.
Yeah.
So a church, yes.
In Sweden, we only celebrate one single saint.
Yeah.
Because we are Protestant, but we kept one saint. I think I told that before. And
Yeah.
that's St. Lucy. St. Lucia, or just on, and that's on the 13th of December. We celebrate St. Lucy.
Oh.
For some reason, we kept her.
The
She wouldn't leave.
lights, that's
No.
why.
She has light in
She's
her
right.
hair, and I mean, she was burned at the stake and slashed in the middle. So a beautiful young woman goes dressed with candles in their hair and a red sash.
I've seen her, that image, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the States, we don't have to be religious or Irish because people look for any reason to celebrate.
Yeah.
To drink.
To drink, yeah.
Let's be honest about it.
So, Meryl, what are you going to bring us today?
Well, usually I do an old one as well, but I woke up to the news of that theater being bombed, and so that's what I wrote about. There's a tradition in theaters, probably some of you know about, called a ghost light that they leave on all the time.
Yeah, 24 hours, 4/7, yeah.
Yeah, so this is called ghost light. Every theater has a ghost, often appeased with light, protection from danger seen and not forgotten. Never forget, we say, as we do again. Ghost, flicker, flit, or shadow boom in every theater. Watch the room and mark the spot. Recall how light once sparkled above, an encircling diamond bracelet, now obscured by a smoky sleeve and bursts of bright arterial blood. Every theater has a ghost, but this one has a multitude. The final curtain fell with the beating of death's black wings. There is no exit and no light. In the darkness, the children cry, ghosts in this theater of the absurd. That's it.
Wow.
Tough story, but you've told it very well.
Yeah. I still heard the good news in the end that apparently most people survived because they were in the shelter, but it's
Yeah, in the basement, yeah.
but just the fact that you bombed something where you have a sign outside saying children.
Yeah, they said in the satellite photos you could see,
Yeah.
and it was in Russian, children written all around it. Yeah.
Biggest belief, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay. I think that this gives me just about the correct time to go to my other desk and have a phone call regarding with a supplier of ours. We need to get a little bit more competitive pricing on. So that's where we're going to go next. Glenn, you are muted.
I don't know what it is.
Glenn, you are muted.
Before we go, I want to say that it's good to see you back, Glenn.
Yeah.
Good to see you back.
Yeah. Very good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Even
Good to
if we
see
can't
you, Frank,
hear
too.
you when you're muted. Okay. Anything
I was
else?
going to say that the new poem is called The New Centurion's Jockstrap Lullaby.
You Centurions, jockstrap
Jockstrap
Lullaby.
lullaby.
That's a mouthful.
And it's a bit Ginsberg-y, and we can wait, I guess, till next time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to read that.
And I will not be reading anything tonight, so I will probably read everything. So don't be disappointed if I don't come a visiting, because I usually do my reading on Sunday, because I don't do reading on Friday. I don't do reading on Saturday. So.
Okay, and it's just 4 p.m. here right now.
And it's 9 p.m. close here, and I have another call. And
So great to
so
see all
nice
of
to
you.
see you. So nice to see you all.
Great to see you all. Thank you for hosting, Bjorn. And yeah, good to see you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.